Why don't you let one of your juniors get a shot to open the county up? Let a fresh face get a shot at it.
Well, no disrespect. I delegate to my lieutenants is not a co-op concern.
Yes, you're trying to enter into his business to tell him what to do.
Oh, man. You're a little out of order here.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's just a thought.
Don't sleep on Marlo.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. There's some shit here.
Mm-hmm. I think that he wanted to see which one of them would agree. Bubbs. Oh fuck! You're not clean anymore!
Reginald. Reginald.
Who is calling you Reginald?
I'm going to work. You know I got night shift all this week.
Well, you know I can stay down here quiet like.
You don't stay here when I'm not around. That's our rule.
I'm your brother, babe. I know where to go when I leave here.
Last time I left you alone in my home, you dragged half my kitchen to a pawn shop. You remember that?
You're back with your sister and you're still clean? I'm so sorry for thinking that you went back.
My rules. You said.
I'm proud of you, I love you. Thank you. You're giving me up.
I'm told that, numbers aside, the campus has become much more hospitable to minorities. I'm told that things have changed for the better.
Really?
Gene Robbins is dean of journalism there. I had lunch with him the other day.
He's a white guy, right?
Yes, and that's not an information. Someone saying something, it's not an information.
In Philadelphia. He's an excellent
Facts.
journalist. We hold on the DSEC story until we can assign someone to do some more reporting, get a real sense of how UM is perceived by minorities.
Let's firm things up. Take a look at where we're standing now from now.
Someone having a feeling, you know, someone having an impression of stuff, thinking something, that's not an information.
You know what a healthy newsroom is?
Not
It's a
that.
magical place where people argue about everything all the time. I'm not poking anyone. You more? Yeah, I'm a little poking.
Chris? That guy, it was during season 2, it was one of the ones working for the Greeks, you know, one of the drivers. Sergei. Marlo's team is interested by the Greeks. It's not a surprise, but...
We locked up for murder.
Uh-huh.
By the poor case years back.
You want that case with you?
I remember that Signal was not there.
What now? You stayed with the zombie girls? No, I came back here to write. You check the fucking library. Shit, check clips too, goes back a ways. Find out whether Carcetti or Nerissa or whoever's behind it. You buttonhole them, find out what the hell's going on. Fine, who's Ricardo Hendricks? The drug dealer. Scott. This property on Baltimore Street is a titty bar the city wants for the Howard Street Enterprise Zone. But this other property they want to trade with them, I'll find out what that's all about.
This is a drug dealer they're trading properties with.
Yeah, he's got a record as long as your arm.
You know your city.
Oh, this is a good point. You ask around for the owner. His name's Ricardo Hendricks. You tell him until we get a comment, we're going to put Ricky's picture on the front page every day. We want a comment as to why he's trading property with the city and what he stands to make off of it.
Okay.
Check the war
Good job.
files. Like the A matter on Ricardo's history.
Oh, she goes to strip clubs and I'm pulling clips in the morgue?
Do your job.
Morale's disbanded the unit. It's working the bodies in the houses.
Yeah, when we're fat with money, you can come back on it.
Investigations are not like that.
Uh-huh.
You can't just drop one.
It's gonna get cold.
That kills Clay Davis for me. And we're about to go to grand jury on it.
Same unit as doing Clay?
I need some profile for our shop.
I'll tell Rawls you can keep 2 men for Clay. The rest of it is shut down until we're able to dig out.
Only
okay?
2?
I got 1.
Lester and someone else.
So one thieving politician trumps 22 dead bodies. Good to know.
Uh-huh. I'm making a little break just to tell you, in France we have one expression, it's not the one who is making a promise and who is not respecting that promise who made a mistake, you know, who is making a mistake. It's the one who believed into that promise.
There's a front off lead, maybe. And we're saying what? That's a sweetheart deal for a titty bar owner with a big criminal history, 200,000.
Why?
We're going through donors in Neresa's campaign committee as we speak. So far, we got 40,000 from Ricardo Hendricks and a bunch of people all using the same address as the bar.
Right? Front page. Love the folder.
Yeah.
That's a good news. I mean, a good one.
Gus.
A good info.
Gus, it's Jeff. The council president would like a word with you. No, she's given me her quote. She wants to talk to you off the record.
Ah.
And is it in the city's interest to give him a property with twice as much floor space and give him $1 million for his trouble?
Uh-huh.
Well, do you think you might have made it clear to the council that Mr. Hendricks donated $60,000 to your campaign committee? Yeah, I don't know, man. Where I live, 60,000 buys a lot of goodwill. Keep running through that campaign finance shit. There's at least $20,000 in contributions we haven't found yet. Neresa but confirm it.
Jimmy? Jimmy! Not only is drunk as hell, but he's also back at... Whoa.
We're going late tonight. Fine.
Oh, I'm so disappointed, Jimmy. Go back to your sister's house, please.
Whoa. Yo. Oh.
You're doing so great, Bubbs. Can't you see? You're not like that anymore.
Hey, any man a Baltimore politician calls you a son of a bitch is a good man.
Where do you want to go?
Times are cuts for us.
I don't know. This is still a pretty good paper.
Times or Post, they are great because they have good journalists, you know, making their jobs. If you're not doing well yours, right there into this newsroom, ask yourself the question, why this newspaper is not good again? Oh my dear. She still has some hope, you know. And you're doing great, Bubbs.
Look, promises were made to me as well. I was told a new deal was coming. Clearly, this isn't it.
Well, where are we going then?
You and McNulty are back to the homicide rotation. Dozen is temporarily assigned to technical. Freeman, Sidney, you two are assigned to the state's attorney's office to help grand jury the Clay Davis thing.
Okay, the two of you.
When the money starts to flow, I'll get you all back on this somehow. Sorry.
They know you are. That's your job, Bubbs. It's a good one. It's an honest one. I'm so proud. Front page, lady. Front page.
I'm just, I need a story. I'm up. Stay hungry like that. Good things come when they come.
Search for them. To be hungry, that's great. To have good ideas, it's better. Really, McNulty is like a kid, like, I don't want to go.
The prodigal son.
Has returned. Back where he began, and more than that, back at who he was And for that you can be mad at yourself, Jimmy. Because right now, you know, the fact that he's back at the homicide unit and all, that's bad, but he can't blame himself for that. It's more a question of how stuff are happening and all into the police departments. It's not his fault. But the fact that he's back at who he was, that he can blame himself for that. Because the fact that he's drinking again, he's unfaithful, you know, he was flirting with that woman, for that he can blame himself because he made that promise that even if he was back with the major crime unit, it wouldn't change him and all. And in fact, yes, he just went back with his old habits. Like, we don't know what happened, but I can imagine that after 1 year making that investigation, not progressing, not being paid, you know, being back with his old friends who are not so perfect and all, maybe like it was just an old habit that he came back with. But it just showed, you know, that he never really changed, just he was not tempted. It's not the same, you know, to really change because you decide to change and that's a big step that you're making in your life, and just avoiding to be tempted, and because of that you're forced, you know, to change. Do you understand what I mean? Both can work, but one is gonna work for life when the other one is gonna work just for the time that you're not gonna be tempted. And that's the difference between him and Bubbs. Bubbs changed and for good, and he could go back, you know, he's still tempted all day because he's right there into the streets, like he's forced to be out there and he's meeting his old friends who are taking drugs, and he could be back like that. And no, he's choosing not to be back as who he was. He's choosing to not take drugs, he's choosing to make that job, okay, which is not the perfect job, like it's an hard one. We saw how Neris, she talked to him like that, you know, she took the newspaper and she was like, phew, like that. So clearly you can be like, okay, it's a bad job, like you're working outside in the cold, you're not considered by people, and you know, it's not a good job, and I'm pretty sure that he's not really well paid for it. But still he's there, he's clean, he has a job, he's sleeping into this house where he's not that considered at all, you know, he doesn't have the right to go with his family, with his sister and her son, for what I remember, or maybe her daughter. She has one kid, that's what I remember. But still he's continuing. That's the difference, you know, between McNulty and Bubbs. He is tempted, he's choosing to not go for it. Sherrod's death was really a turning point for him, and I'm glad for that, you know, that at least it had that consequence on Bubbs. I'm so proud of him, I love him so much. I'm so sorry that for 1 second, you know, I had some doubts about it. Since 1 year they were investigating on him, you know, on Marlo, and they didn't make any progress. That's not a surprise, you know, that with the budget situation, because of that they are choosing to close the major crime unit. If they are not making any progress with it. But maybe also because they are not that good. Like, I understand the fact that they can't put any wire right there. They can just follow him. He knows about it, so he's making sure that they're not gonna have any information, so it's really rough for them. But at the same point, they were just doing the same shit again and again. They were not trying to have new ideas, new things, like to follow Marlo right there with a girl and to not really follow him into that hotel, to see that the entire co-op is right there, meaning that they didn't pay attention, that other drug bosses went right there into that hotel and all. It means that they were lazy, or just they didn't ask the right question, ask themselves, you know, the right question. Like, for me, they can blame themselves a little for that, for the fact that they didn't make any progress. I'm a little disappointed, you know. Kima and McNulty back at the homicide, you know, unit, okay. Sidna and Lester, they're gonna work on the Clay Davis case. Daniels, you know, did his best to save that unit, but he couldn't do it because Tommy didn't respect that promise, but at the same time, Tommy can't respect that promise, he doesn't have the money, people are not getting paid and all, they insisted a lot on that. Like I said, you know, I'm not surprised that Tommy is not respecting his promise. Like, if it wouldn't be a budget issue, it would have been something else. Like, you can't expect for political persons to respect all of their promises. It's like that, you know, it's political games like that. You just have to expect for them to respect the majority of the promises that they made, because sometimes just they are lying about it, and also because the context, once they are in charge, is telling them that no, they can't do it for that or that reason. It's like that. And in France, we have really a mentality with that. Like I said, we have that expression, you know. If I have to translate it, really, it's les promesses engagent que ceux qui y croient, meaning promises are only for those who believe into it. And the meaning behind that, it's really about the fact that the one who is making a mistake, it's not the one making a promise and not respecting it, it's the one who truly believed into that promise, meaning that you can't really believe into any promise, you know, really into that context. It's an expression that we are using for that context, for a political context. It's like that, you know, like, it's not about making a promise, it's about believing into it. Why, you know, promises, most of the time, with the political context, you can't keep them. It's a little sad, you know, being said like that, but it's like that, you know, in real life. I don't know if you have that expression into your country, tell me that on the comments. So yes, that's not a surprise for me, all of what is happening right there. For our guys to be divided like that, for the major crime unit to not exist anymore, it's sad, but again, with the context, with the fact that they are investigating and they don't have any real answer, it's not a surprise. Marlo is making his business, you know, normally, like he's not bothered at all. On the contrary, he's trying to, you know, to tease a little proposition Joe. And for me, during that meeting, you know, he asked that question and all just to see one of them maybe reacting to it and maybe who could be in his side. He's searching for allies, you know, Marlo. And I think also we saw it at the end of the last season. He was searching for information about the Greeks. He's still searching for information, like right there, all of that thing about Chris and Sergei. I'm wondering what he wants to do with that. We'll see. We had a little of Michael and a little of Duquan. That's not a surprise, I said it, for the 4 kids. These two, I knew that we would have news about them. Michael is a soldier. Duquan was helping, you know, with the corners. But I'm really voting for him to not do it anymore and to just help with Buck. Like really, yes. I'm fully okay with it and I hope that he's gonna accept, he's really gonna do it. And if you want to do something, you know, with your life, Duquan, you can find a job. Go back to school. All of that, you know. I know, maybe I'm dreaming too big, like always. That was a cool episode. That was a cool first episode for this final season. It's really setting the mood, the context for this season, for this final season, what we're gonna deal with, and the fact that into the cops side, they are desperate, they are not paid, the major crime unit really is not doing great at all, like it's not existing at all at the end. The political aspect, you know, we're gonna have a little of it and clearly we're gonna be disappointed. We have all of the newsroom aspect and that I appreciate it. I think that you know it by now if you watched several of my videos. I was a journalist at some point during several years and I was working into a newsroom like that for a newspaper. So maybe I could tell you stuff about things, you know, during the episodes, like I did during this episode, about how stuff are functioning and what a good journalist should do, could do. And right now, clearly some of these guys are not making their jobs right. They are just waiting for the news to come just like that. No. You have to search for it, you have to have good ideas also. Like, it's always about, you know, okay, you have one information, but because of that information you can search for that aspect, you can follow that lead, you can maybe think about something else going with it, or just it's gonna make you think about something else which is different, but which is gonna bring you a new lead, a new story, a new information. An impression, a thought, that's not an information, that's not making, you know, a paper or anything like that. You know, I can talk about that job for a long time because I made that job and I was passionate about it and all. Maybe one day I'm gonna tell you why I stopped it, because really it didn't stop in a good way. But I loved it, you know, it's not changing the fact that I love to make that job a lot and I have a lot of things to say about it. Okay, I'm gonna stop this review right now and I'm gonna watch one more episode. Remember that if you want, on my Patreon you can have already the reaction videos for the 4 next episodes in case you're interested. So it's all for you and for me for this video, so it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.